The rain hasn't stopped for days. Thick gray clouds hang low over the forest, turning everything slick and unstable. Deep in the protected wildlife corridor of Tsavo, a young elephant calf wails in distress, its cries slicing through the humid air. The baby has slipped down a steep embankment near the swollen river, sucked into a pocket of thick, sucking mud. Its legs thrash uselessly. Every movement drags it deeper. The herd surrounds the pit in panic. Trumpets pierce the air as massive feet stomp and stir the wet earth. The matriarch, Naledi, looms over the hole. Her trunk stretches again and again, trying to reach her baby, Moyo. But the mud is too deep, the walls too slick. She roars in frustration. The other elephants pace behind her, uncertain, afraid. No one dares go closer. The edge is crumbling. A call goes out to the Tsavo Wildlife Emergency Unit. Only one is close enough to respond. Sarah Morgan, a senior field rescuer, hears the distress code through her radio as she finishes tending to a snared antelope miles away. She doesn't hesitate. She throws her gear in the jeep and races toward the river. She's been here before. Sinkhole rescues are rare, but brutal. By the time she arrives, the rain has slowed, but the air is thick and heavy with fear. Sarah cuts the engine. She hears the calf before she sees it, short, sharp blasts of sound that vibrate through the trees. She grabs a coil of rope and a collapsible winch from the back. Her boots sink deep into the muck with every step. When she rounds the brush and sees the pit, her heart drops. The calf is almost submerged. Just its head, covered in sludge, pokes above the surface. Then she sees Naledi, massive, towering, positioned between her and the pit. Sarah freezes. Naledi's ears lift. Her eyes narrow. She bellows and charges. Sarah's instincts scream to run, but she doesn't. She stands firm, slowly crouching low to the ground, arms out, not in defense, but in surrender. The rope drops from her hands. "Naledi," she whispers, heart pounding. "I'm not here to hurt him." The elephant storms forward, trunk raised high, hooves slamming the earth. But at the last moment, she halts, just meters away. Her breath is heavy, her body shakes. Sarah holds her ground. For one long, electric moment, woman and elephant stare at each other. Then Sarah turns, slowly, and looks toward the pit. She doesn't move forward. She simply gestures, points, shows the elephant that her eyes, her focus, are on the calf. Not a threat, not a predator, just another mother trying to help. Naledi shifts. Her trunk lowers. Her gaze follows Sarah's hand toward the mud-covered calf. She lets out a low, vibrating rumble, a sound Sarah's only ever heard once before. It isn't a warning, it's a plea. Sarah exhales, nods once, and picks up the rope again. She begins her approach, not alone, but under the watchful eyes of a wild mother, desperate enough to hope. Sarah edges forward, mud sucking at her boots, rope coiled tightly in her hand. Naledi doesn't move, not a step. She stays rooted between the calf and the forest behind her, her giant frame heaving with each breath. Her eyes track every inch of Sarah's movement. Her ears stay raised, trunk hovering in the air like a coiled question. Are you here to save or steal? Sarah speaks gently, voice barely above the breeze. You see what I'm doing. You see I'm not here to take him. The pit is just 10 feet away now. Moyo's tiny head bobs in the quicksand-like sludge. His trunk flails in short, panicked bursts, his cries growing weaker. His small eyes lock on his mother's towering figure and then shift to Sarah. She drops to her knees near the edge. No sudden moves, no noise. She scans the ground for stability, laying flat to shift her weight. The muddy bank threatens to give way under her, but she holds firm. From behind, Naledi lets out a low, guttural sound. Sarah looks back. Naledi has stepped forward, not fast, but deliberate. She's closing the space between them. Sarah doesn't run. She doesn't turn. She stays low and calm, head bowed. The elephant's shadow stretches across her back. Then Naledi stops. Sarah hears the soft slap of a trunk hitting the earth behind her. The mother is close now, close enough to crush her, but she doesn't. Sarah reaches into her satchel and pulls out a carabiner and a short length of webbing. She tosses the rope's end gently into the pit. It slaps the mud beside Moyo's flank. The calf lets out a strangled trumpet. "Easy, baby," she whispers. "We're going to get you out." She leans in, her arms stretch forward. She tries to loop the rope under the calf's shoulder, but Moyo shifts in panic, sliding deeper. The rope slips from her fingers. The pit hisses as more earth slides in from above. Sarah braces herself and reaches again, but before she can try, a shadow moves. Naledi. The mother steps beside her, not over her, not between her and the calf, but with her. Her massive trunk dips into the pit, brushing against her calf's back, not lifting, not pulling, just feeling, as if to say, "I'm here." Sarah stares, stunned. Naledi looks at her, not with anger now, but with something else, a test, a question, a choice, and Sarah answers without a word. She gently threads the rope beneath the calf's belly, inch by inch. Naledi stays still, watching. When the rope is in place, Sarah stands slowly. The edge is too unstable for a full lift. She signals toward the trees, hoping help arrives soon, but she knows she can't wait. Not with the calf sinking. Then Naledi moves again. This time she presses her tusks into the soil, reinforcing the edge. Her massive foot braces near the lip. It's not random. It's deliberate. The mother is helping. Together, woman and elephant stand side by side, one with rope in hand, the other with centuries of instinct in her bones, ready to fight the mud and time and fear for the life of one child. The rope is in place, but Moyo isn't moving. He's exhausted, ears pinned, trunk limp. Each breath takes effort. His body is almost submerged now, mud clinging to his sides like cement. Only his small eyes remain bright, flicking between the woman and his mother. Sarah braces the rope over her shoulder, digging her heels into the shifting ground. "Come on, little one," she says, voice raw. "Don't give up." Naledi stands just behind her, still and alert. Her tusks are coated in red clay, her legs braced at an angle like a living support beam. She doesn't touch Sarah, but she doesn't leave either. The silence between them feels sacred. Sarah pulls. The rope tightens with a jolt. Moyo lets out a squeal, half panic, half pain. His legs kick instinctively, but there's no traction. The mud has him locked in place. Sarah slides down the bank again, knees scraping rock, rope biting her palms. She adjusts the angle, sweat and grit streaking her face. Suddenly, Naledi steps forward. Sarah jerks, expecting pressure, resistance, anything. But Naledi lowers her trunk gently into the pit. She nudges the calf's hindquarters. Not forceful, not panicked. Support. Together they try again. Sarah yells through clenched teeth, "Lift!" She hauls the rope with all she has. Naledi leans in, pushing upward with the flat of her trunk. Moyo lets out a desperate trumpet, his front legs finally breaking free of the suction. Mud slaps across Sarah's chest as the weight shifts. He's halfway out. "Keep going, baby," she cries. The ledge beneath her buckles. She drops to one knee, the rope nearly sliding from her grasp. Behind her, Naledi roars, a sound that rattles Sarah's ribs, and shifts position. Her tusks scrape the embankment, reinforcing the lip as it collapses further under their weight. Moyo cries out again, trapped. Sarah regains footing. She digs deeper into the soil, wrapping the rope once around her waist. Her arms tremble. Her body screams in protest. She looks back. Still Naledi holds her ground. The mother doesn't panic. She doesn't abandon. She waits for the moment that matters. Sarah braces one foot against a rock and pulls hard, her entire body twisting as she shifts Moyo's center of gravity. Naledi senses it, moves forward again, and this time lifts with more force, her trunk curling under her calf's flank. Together they hoist. The sound is sickening, mud tearing free like a creature being born from the earth. Then the weight gives. Moyo flops forward, front legs scrambling against the edge. Sarah lunges, grabs his ear with one hand, rope still wrapped in the other. The calf squeals, slipping. But Naledi's trunk shoots forward, wrapping around her baby. In one combined motion, human and elephant heave him clear of the pit. Moyo lands in a heap of limbs and sludge, coughing, wild-eyed, but alive. Sarah collapses beside him, covered in mud, chest heaving. Her hands shake, her throat burns, but she laughs, a raw, hoarse sound pulled straight from her soul. She turns. Naledi is there, watching her. Their eyes meet, warrior to warrior, mother to mother. No fear, no hesitation, just a silent truth neither of them will ever forget. They did this together. The calf is out, but barely. Moyo lies half in, half out of the pit, his front legs sprawled on solid ground while his back legs are still caught in the sucking pit. His cries are weak now, high-pitched, rhythmic bleats that signal both pain and confusion. His eyes roll, trunk twitching feebly. Sarah scrambles to his side, her hands sink into the mud, searching for the rope she'd wrapped around his belly. It's loose now, slick with clay, almost useless. She curses under her breath and pulls anyway, her shoulder nearly yanked from the socket. "Naledi," she gasps, "he's slipping." The mother trumpets again, but it's not a sound of celebration, it's fear. Her trunk lashes once, snapping a branch. She steps forward as Moyo's hind legs slide back down the slope. "No, no, no, stay with me," Sarah cries. She lunges to grab the rope with both hands, driving her feet into the ground. Her boots slide. She falls hard, mud splattering across her face. Moyo's weight pulls at her like a living anchor. The rope tightens around her wrist, cutting deep. She hears Naledi behind her, footfalls pounding the earth like war drums. Sarah braces herself, but Naledi doesn't charge. She doesn't panic. Instead, the elephant steps beside her calf and does the unthinkable. She kneels, massive legs buckle, her body lowers, slow and deliberate, until her belly is nearly brushing the ground beside the pit. Her tusks stab into the slope just above her calf. Her trunk coils around Moyo's side, not yanking this time, but supporting. She braces him, holds him still. Sarah sees it happen and blinks, stunned. "You're holding him. For me." With renewed energy she moves fast, rewrapping the rope around Moyo's chest and thighs, tying a crude anchor to a root just above the pit. She signals toward the trees, hoping, praying, that backup is close. But no one comes. It's just them. Again, a woman in mud, a mother in silence, a calf halfway between death and freedom. "Okay," Sarah whispers, breath ragged. "One more time." Naledi growls, a low rumble steady as thunder. They move. Sarah pulls with every muscle screaming. Naledi lifts, slow, steady pressure with her trunk under Moyo's back legs. The calf kicks, struggling, splattering them both with fresh mud. The root groans. The rope stretches. Sarah slips, again, but doesn't let go. Naledi leans into her push, and suddenly, like a cork from a bottle, Moyo pops free. He crashes onto the riverbank, all four legs skidding in the muck. He blinks, whimpers, then flops onto his side, heaving for breath. Sarah staggers to her knees, laughing and sobbing all at once. Moyo is out. He's alive. And now Naledi rises, powerful and quiet. She brushes past Sarah, her flank close enough to touch, but she doesn't push. She doesn't shove. She pauses, looks down. Their eyes lock once more. And in that look, Sarah sees something she never expected from a wild animal. Recognition. Then Naledi turns and hurries to her calf, curling her trunk around him like a lifeline. Sarah falls back into the mud, arms shaking, eyes full of tears. For a moment, she doesn't move. Not because she's weak, because she knows she just witnessed something sacred. The forest is still. The only sound now is the distant call of birds and the soft rustle of wind through the trees. Rain has stopped. The air hangs thick with mist, curling around the figures on the muddy riverbank. Moyo stands, Unsteady at first, legs splayed, ears twitching. He wobbles once, then takes a clumsy step forward. His mother is right beside him, towering, protective, calm. Naledi steadies him with her trunk, gently guiding him away from the pit. Sarah watches from a distance, crouched low in the mud, arms limp at her sides. Her shirt is torn, soaked through. Her face is streaked with clay, hair plastered to her scalp. She should be exhausted, but she can't stop smiling. A sound pulls her attention. A trumpet, not frantic this time, but low, melodic. A greeting. The rest of the herd emerges from the trees, 6 elephants, silent and slow, forming a loose arc around the mother and calf. They don't approach Sarah, but they don't turn away either. Moyo lets out a curious squeak as he lumbers toward them. The others touch him lightly with their trunks, checking, confirming. Alive, safe, returned. Naledi stays still for a moment longer. Then she turns and walks back toward Sarah. Sarah's breath catches in her throat. She doesn't move. She doesn't reach out. Naledi approaches slowly, mud still clinging to her side, eyes wide and quiet. She stops a few feet away. The space between them is filled with everything words could never hold. She lowers her head, just slightly. Then, with a softness impossible for her size, she extends her trunk, close but not touching. It hovers in the air, a gesture of something. Sarah doesn't dare name it. Respect? Acknowledgement? Gratitude? Sarah bows her head in response. No words pass between them. None are needed. They both know what happened here. They both remember. Naledi lifts her trunk once more, sweeping the air as if locking this moment into memory, and then turns to rejoin her calf. The herd forms a protective circle as they move off, disappearing slowly into the golden haze between the trees. Sarah sits in the silence long after they're gone. She listens to the breath of the forest, the echo of that final trumpet, the lingering weight of what she was just part of. Not just a rescue, not just survival, a moment of trust, shared between 2 mothers, one with tusks, one with rope, one born to the wild, one only allowed to enter it because she didn't demand to, she earned it. A jeep engine rumbles in the distance. Her team is finally arriving. Sarah stands, legs unsteady, and brushes mud from her arms. She turns to the path, already replaying the events in her mind. But there's one image she'll never forget. That look. The one Naledi gave her before walking away. Not wild, not tame. Just understood. Not every story needs words. Sometimes it's a glance, a rumble, a single act of trust between 2 beings who should never have understood each other, but did. Sarah didn't speak Naledi's language. She didn't need to. What passed between them was something older, deeper, a recognition that love, especially a mother's love, knows no species. If this story moved you, share it. Let it remind someone that even in the wildest places, compassion can rise above fear. Tell us in the comments, would you have stood your ground? Like this video to honor Naledi, Moyo, and the quiet heroes who protect the wild. Subscribe for more stories where courage and connection collide. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is kneel beside something that could destroy us and choose to help anyway.